Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. Good to have you here. While we're getting started, please drop your name in the chat with where you're zooming in from, maybe what your job is, and we're curious about what you're curious about with this webinar. So let us know all those things. My name is Bridget Strickler, and I'm the VP for Coalition Strategy at CALE, and I'm the team lead for EPCCE, which is the Energy Providers Coalition for Education. And I'm joined by my teammates who are helping with the back office stuff here, Kristen and Diana and Angela from the CALE team. And then we have our special guest from WPI, Alexandria, but I'll get to all that in just a few minutes. Happy that you're spending your lunch hour with us today. Well, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm Bridget Strickler. Welcome, everybody. We're excited for you to be here. Drop your name and other information in the chat. We're curious what you're curious about. And we're really excited to welcome our special guest from one of our education partners, Worcester Polytechnic Institute, or WPI for short. We've got Alexandria. Welcome, Alexandria.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
So just a quick overview of the agenda. I'm going to be giving you a little bit of more background on EPCCE. We're going to talk about our EPCCE institutions and programs. Of course, you're going to hear directly from WPI today, but we have other education partners as well. So I'm excited to tell you about those. We've got some tips for adult learners, and then I'm going to turn it over to WPI to talk about their programs specifically. And so you can ask Alexandria all your pressing questions about what they have to offer. So first of all, it might be important for us to understand what EPCCE is. Like I said, the Energy Providers Coalition for Education. Sorry for so many acronyms. But EPCCE is a partnership of energy industry employers, unions, and associations. And we are celebrating 25 years this year. So we've been around for a really long time, founded in 2000, and it's really about helping employers in the energy sector meet their needs for a skilled workforce. And we were providing this all online since 2000, so we were doing online education before it was in vogue. Our mission is really, like I said, driven by industry. So all the programs that we offer are things that our employer members have asked for. And so it's really important to us that this is industry driven. So we offer standardized quality online programs to meet our members' workforce needs. And so importantly, it enables individuals to obtain the education that they need to enter into the energy sector or to advance into positions within this workforce. So if you're looking to grow your career with some additional skills and education, you're in the right place. I'm showing you this slide to show you that if your company is a member of EPCCE, you're part of something that's large and national in scope. We have over 3,500 members, and we have a few of the logos displayed here. So what do we mean by online education? So it's available 24/7 from anywhere in the world. It's an asynchronous format, which means you can take the classes at the time that's convenient for you and do the work at the time that's convenient for you. But that doesn't mean that you're learning in a silo by yourself. The classes are instructor-led, and often they're going to bring workplace examples into the learning experience. And of course, you as an adult learner would bring your experiences on the job into the classroom examples. All of the schools are regionally accredited, which is very important because that means that the credit more easily transfers should you want to do that. In honor of our 25th anniversary, we do have a brand new EPCE website that launched just a couple weeks ago, and I hope that you all will check it out. I want to show you a couple of the cool features that we are loving. So on our new website, you'll see that you can connect directly to an advisor from here. You can search by a program or by an institution. And then a new feature is that you can explore careers. And when you pull up a career, it will show the education program that we offer that's attached to that career path. And then coming soon over here, we're going to be having a news and blog. So one of the cool things that we'll be putting on our blog are some student success stories. So I think it's always great for people who are thinking about going back to school or plugging into education to see how other adults have successfully done that. And then on that same page is an events page. And so that's where you can go later to find the recording of this webinar. And you can also check that page out for additional webinars that are coming up. One thing on the new website that we wanted to do is we wanted to make one of our favorite benefits for being an EPCE member more visible. And that's the discounts that employees of member companies receive. So you can see here the difference in the price that you will pay for your schooling if your company is an EPCE member. So as I mentioned, the offerings that we have are specifically informed by what the industry has asked for. And so our 4 institutional partners are Bismarck State College, Clemson, Excelsior University, and WPI. And we offer hundreds of courses, certificates, associate's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and master's degrees. The general areas are, we have introductory courses, such as orientation to the electrical industry. We offer courses and programs in power generation. So we have nuclear power, power plant technology, and some renewable energies. And then we have transmission and distribution programs, as well as some specialty areas that employers told us they need for their business needs, such as cybersecurity, general business, like an MBA program, leadership programs, and then a specialty in water and wastewater management. And then notice the colors on this slide because they correspond with the colors on this one. So these are all of our EPCE programs. So you can see over here, these are our nuclear power programs. Bismarck State offers a lot of certificate and associate level programs. Excelsior offers that bachelor's degree program in nuclear power. And then you can see we span all the way over to engineering. So we've got a few engineering programs, and then our specialty areas are here along the bottom. So you'll be getting all these slides after the webinar, so don't worry about grabbing the screenshot. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our other education partners before we turn it over to Alexandria. So Clemson University is a partner, and Clemson was founded in 1889, and it's located in Clemson, South Carolina. And the Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering program that they offer through EPCE is accredited by the Engineering Accreditation Commission of ABET. And Patricia McAnulty is our point of contact there, and she is ready to answer your questions if either of those programs are of interest to you. Excelsior University is another one of our partners, And Excelsior is an accredited not-for-profit distance learning institution founded in 1971, focused on providing educational opportunity to adult learners. And Excelsior is meeting the needs of their students by developing an ecosystem that integrates instructor-led and self-paced courses, prior learning assessment, and stackable credentials. So they are very working adult learner friendly. And these are the programs that they offer through EPCE, and Bernard Austin is our point of contact there, and he would be available to answer any of your questions there. Now, of course, we do encourage you to register. If you saw a program there that interests you, we do encourage you to register for our webinar that will feature Excelsior on April 1st. And Bismarck State, I've got to take a little sip here. Bismarck State College is another partner that we have. And BSC is EPCE's founding education partner and is a leader in online energy technology education, preparing workers for the energy industry. And Bismarck is recognized as a National Energy Center of Excellence and has been the provider of choice for the education of students and the training of employees in the energy industry for over 40 years. And our good friends over there at Bismarck, Alicia, Ashley, and Gregory are the points of contact. And you can see all the tremendous programming that they offer. But of course, if you'd love to join our webinar that we're having in a couple weeks on April 8th, please register to do so. So I mentioned student success stories, and so I really am excited to share this one of Dustin Manifield. He's a system protection engineer at Pedernales Electric Cooperative. And this is just so true of what we see of adult learners so often. It's like once they get in the classroom, they just want to keep going. And so Dustin completed in 2021 his Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering Technology from Excelsior. And then he decided to keep going, and he's graduating this spring with a Master's in Power Systems Engineering from WPI. And I love Dustin's quote and his precious family over here. He said, "I've had the opportunity to get hands-on engineering design experience at my job, while at the same time having my online courses cover the same topics as what I'm doing at work." So that is just an ideal situation there. So what he's learning in the classroom, he's applying on the job, and he's bringing his work experience into the classroom. And then we've just got a couple of great tips, I think, for adult learners I wanted to share with you. So this slide is really about before you select a school. So, you know, don't limit your options of schools to where your friends went, right? Like, you know, maybe you did that decades ago when you're still in high school. That's kind of how you went about your decision-making process. But do talk to your work colleagues and see what their experiences have been. All EPCE programs are online, so you don't have to be limited by a geography. Know your financial options. If you work for an employer that is an EPCE member, you likely have tuition assistance or tuition reimbursement, which can help you cover the costs of tuition. And because of the discounts, those dollars are going to stretch further. You definitely want to find a school that welcomes working adults, like all of our EPCE providers do, and a school that values what you've learned in the workplace. So we talk a lot about the option for credit for prior learning, which is also called prior learning assessment. And that's really important if you're a working adult, because you can get credit potentially, depending on the institution, for experiences that you have had outside of a classroom, including military experience. So be sure to ask about that. And then, of course, you want to nail down what the details of the program are so that you can have your life, have your work, and also have that classroom experience. And then lastly, once you are enrolled, these are some things to think about. So be sure to be your best advocate. Advocate for yourself in the online classroom. It's easy to feel invisible in an online environment, and professors and faculty members don't necessarily know if you're struggling or need help because they don't have those nonverbal signals like you would in a classroom environment. So if you don't understand something, there's probably other people that don't understand the same thing. So don't be afraid to speak up on those discussion boards and ask questions. Those boards are also a great place to bond and learn from other students. They're the place where you build community. And it's great to, be part of a community of students who are just like you, who are working adults. And you can support each other and learn from each other as well. And of course, seek out help. A lot of folks, myself included, like I haven't written a paper in many years. So institutions often have centers or resources where you can go to get some tutoring on things like that, or get a writing coach, or have workshops that can assist you in tackling the subject area more easily. And then set aside time to study, schedule it in, put it on your calendar. Even if you start small, just an hour a day is a great start. And you'll just be encouraged to keep going. And we have a special gift for everybody here today. We have an adult learner toolkit that has all of those tips in it, and you will get that in the follow-up information. So with that, I'm going to unshare my screen and I'm going to turn it over to Alexandria.
Thank you, Bridget. I'm going to share my screen here. And I assume everyone can see the presentation.
Yes.
Great, great. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to join us. Some great information from Bridget, and we're always honored to join in on a webinar with our EPCE partners. I'm Alexandria Halbin. I'm the Associate Director of Corporate Enrollment at WPI. So essentially, I oversee the enrollment experience for all of our corporate partners. So folks on this call, people who are working in industry and looking at different pathways educationally and how that can further their career. So I help with all of that. I'd love to hear about maybe some topics that you're interested in. That's one of the fun parts of the job, is that I work across industry. So I get to hear and learn a lot about those industries. So specifically today, with our friends in power and utility, I'm interested in some hot topics, whether it's AI, solar, wind, nuclear. Drop them in the chat. I'm always curious about what's top of mind for our industry partners. So some students here graduating, receiving their diplomas. Sometimes we'll host, in addition to graduation ceremonies for our EPCE members, if there are cohorts or a group of you that are attending online, and you're welcome to come to campus. It's just a slide of one of our EPCE member graduation ceremonies. Super proud of our partnership there with them. So a little bit about WPI. We were founded in 1865 as one of the nation's first polytechnic institutions to create and convey the latest science and engineering knowledge. And we stay true to that, to our core today. Theory and practice and industry impact is so important. One of the pieces of the success story that was shared by Bridget with Dustin, referencing how what he's learning in his program and what he's doing in his role in the field are really harmonious. So that's the premise of our theory and practice curriculum, and we're very proud of it. It has a really great impact on folks who are certainly in their undergraduate career, but really impactful for folks that are in their graduate programs and are also working full-time. Our graduate student school size is about 2,000, and we have a dedicated support with our student success teams. One of the things that were mentioned by Bridget is get to know what resources are available to you while you're in your educational search. At WPI, one of the differentiators that we offer is the student success team. So you have a designated member, one-to-one, who is there from the day that you're enrolled in the program and follows you all the way through to the very end. So they are basically your liaison. Questions you have about administrative or billing or course mapping, they can connect you to various resources that you might need to utilize throughout your program and be a liaison to the academic departments as well. We'll dive into a little more about the unique pathways that I mentioned for the theory and practice, and our state-of-the-art facilities and labs. If you're local and want to pop in, we always welcome that, even though these programs are fully online, and there's no requirement to do so, but we do find folks are very interested in that. So just some bragging rights, why not? Our recognized excellence here by many of the top rankings. And, it's very important to us that folks know what they're getting at WPI and what it is to be a top ranked institution. It's an investment in your time and in your resources. So we want to make sure that you're aware of the many accolades that we've received. With that, accreditation is super important. It serves as an assurance that the college or the university meets certain academic standards to provide a quality education. So accredited institutions are evaluated and recognized by those accrediting bodies to ensure that they're offering rigorous programs and that we're meeting industry standards. So this just helps to assure you that you're receiving a valuable education and that we're recognized by our other employers and institutions and partners. And so these are just a glimpse of some of the accreditations that we hold. So some of the degree programs that we'll cover today are the Masters of Engineering and Power Systems Engineering, Power Systems Management, and then also Electrical and Computer Engineering in both the Masters and then the Masters of Engineering. So the foundational ECE courses, you'll see some overlap if you're interested in, let's say if it's ECE versus power systems, the core of your program is in these foundational, what we call ECE courses. So here you'll see of the 30 required credits, most of them are here, right? And then you have some elective experience that you can build in as well. If you're interested in taking courses in AI or in some business areas, you have the flexibility to do so. There's always flexibility in potentially some of the courses that you may be coming in with. So if you've taken any of these courses in a graduate program or in an undergraduate, there's potential for receiving some credit. And that could change the trajectory of your course mapping as well. And then there is a capstone experience where it just culminates the entire program. And a lot of students who are working in industry utilize some of the things that they're working on in their day-to-day professional field. So it's always a really great experience to delve a little bit deeper into an area either that you're currently engaged in at work, or maybe you're interested in an area at work about eventually moving into that track or into that pathway at work, but it's not necessarily what your current role comprises. A lot of students also choose an area such as that to focus on because it gives them a little bit of academic freedom in an area that they're interested in moving into at work. So again, that theory and practice model is really important to us at WPI, and the capstone really highlights that. It's a very unique approach in higher ed. So it really mirrors the projects that your teams are engaged in. And that is how we design our curriculum. So it really makes WPI the perfect partner for your corporate education. All of our master's programs are designed by folks who are from industry, so they understand the latest advancements that are needed, how to respond and adapt to those things. And you cover a lot of that within these programs. You'll see here some multi-track options. There's a lot of overlap. We have a very interdisciplinary approach to our curriculum and to our degree program. So this kind of just outlines here that there are some options available to you, whether you're getting an ME in power systems, an MS in mechanical, or construction project management. Those are a lot of popular and very interesting to the energy and power industry. So we've seen a lot of folks that maybe come back to get, a certificate in construction project management, or that's how they start their pathway. Then they move into more of a leadership position, more interested in some of the engineering roles. And so we see them kind of utilize a lot of the flexibility in our interdisciplinary approach. So this kind of just maps that out a little bit. Again, if anyone has specific questions about our power systems management program, our electrical engineering program, I encourage all of you to reach out to me directly so we can dive deeper into some of those questions. What we always recommend is a conversation with myself and maybe somebody else on our team to really understand your background and how you want to utilize this degree program in your career, and just ensuring that your background also meets the requirements for these programs as well. So with the admissions qualification, just a high-level overview of some of the requirements needed. We do recommend a threshold of a minimum of a 3.0. Now, I always say this in every conversation. If you are hovering below a 3.0, that never will disqualify you. There are always reasons that you're not at that threshold. So please do not automatically think if you did not have a 3.0 in your undergrad that you are immediately disqualified. We do recommend a background in electrical engineering or electrical computer engineering due to the rigorous of some of the mathematics of the program. So it's a lot of calculus and linear algebra and matrix methods and differential equations and those things. So the reason for the requirement is to ensure that you've been exposed to this math and that you've demonstrated that you can handle that on a graduate level. And so that's the why behind the what's there. With that, we do have a math for power refresher course. If you're like, oh my gosh, Bridget mentioned she hasn't written a paper in years. I haven't taken any of these calculus classes in years. And a lot of folks who are working in industry have also not been exposed to this math, even if they've taken it in their undergrad. It was part of their program. So we do offer a math for power refresher course. And it is a non-credit program that sort of moves through these 8 modules. We've had a lot of the employers that we've worked with that are EPCE members and also in the industry for power and utility that they will reimburse this. It's different in every company. So again, if it's something that you're interested in, we can always talk offline about it, but always go to your HR teams and inquire about all the amazing benefits that are available to you as an employee to help bolster you into different pathways that are available to you. Just a couple of notes about the program in terms of how it's delivered. It is a fully asynchronous program. So you log in whenever you have time throughout the week. You do have different assignments that are structured out, that you do follow a syllabus. You will log in to our LMS, our learning management system, Canva. Super easy to navigate. So if you haven't taken an online course, I know when I was in grad school, I was like, what is this online business? It can be a little intimidating because you might feel siloed or a little bit excluded from the traditional learning experience that we've all come to know. But Canvas makes it super easy. The student success managers make it really easy to engage with your peers. And the way that the classes are structured, your professors are also always available to you. And the asynchronous learning modality just provides a lot of flexibility to working professionals. So you go in on your own time and you kind of complete as you are assigned to the syllabus. You know, when you have an hour, you have 2 hours, you get to kind of build out your week, which is really nice. As a baseline, just while you're thinking about, oh my gosh, you know, do I have the time for this? That's always the number one question, is like, how long does it take? How much time am I going to have to spend on this? And like, how much does it cost? That's, everyone always wants to get down to business. We recommend each course is about 15 hours of coursework per week, including the time that you're spending on your assignments and your research and your reading. So with that, starting out the program, we recommend taking one course at a time. There are folks that will move into taking 2 courses in a term. And again, it's an individual base for everyone. So that's our recommendation, to kind of get your feet wet. And it seems to really help folks understand how to be able to structure their time. And then they move into maybe taking another course. I mentioned Canvas in the last slide, but this is just a quick screenshot of kind of like what it looks like when you log in the courses that you're taking and kind of how you toggle through. It's super user friendly. It's where you're going to find your syllabus and your sort of mapped out assignments for you, and you interact with all of the material within this LMS. You can interact with your peers, your classmates on different discussion boards and have conversations as well. So it's where you're going to really live and breathe for your online coursework. And they really do, the professors try to make it as interactive as possible so you don't feel siloed and you don't feel like you're just someone behind a screen. So with that, you really do receive the same world-class instruction as anyone who might be entering a lab or taking classes on campus. As I mentioned, all of the courses are designed and taught by industry professionals, PhD level, folks who live and breathe that industry. It's always an honor for me to be able to talk to them and then talk to all of you, because I'm always just in awe of the things I learn and their experience and how they pull that into the classroom and provide a lot of value to their students. You know, the future workplace needs more trained experts. It needs people who are very thoughtful and can balance science and technology with this human-centered approach. And our folks, being from industry, know that. They're really dedicated to that approach. So you also, as I mentioned, have a lot of access to support services as well. You know, you invest a lot in your education, your time, your funds, your talents, and we take that investment really seriously at WPI. These programs are rigorous. We support you in that. With that, collaboration is really important. So the relationships that you develop with your peers, with your professors, they become very close and meaningful interactions. They serve as mentors to you as you're working in the field, which is invaluable. You have access to them, you know, throughout the remainder of your professional careers. With some of the resources that are available, the Career Center, while many of you are already employed and wouldn't necessarily be accessing it specifically for that traditional role of finding employment, whereas as an undergrad you would, excuse me, unless you were interested in a potential career change, it's always available to you, but it's more about building mentorship. Something that we're really focused on right now at WPI as an institution is the non-traditional ways that a career center can serve adult learners as well. It's very focused on mentorship. The world and the industries that we serve, being a STEM institution, are industries that are rapidly changing and going through advancements, reacting to those, navigating political discourse within that. Mentorship is so important at a time such as now for those reasons. And the Career Center really can help provide you opportunities to engage with mentors if you don't naturally create them in your program. So they can connect you with alums, they can connect you with other different mentorship opportunities, which I think is really important. We can talk more offline about the specific application requirements for the programs that you're interested in, but just kind of as a general for the programs that I reviewed, all of the university transcripts that you've attended. So anywhere you've earned credit, we want to see that. It shows us your ability to master material. And again, there's always potential that you can utilize some of that credit. In addition to your transcripts, of course, we do require a statement of purpose. I can help navigate that process with you, different things to say. It's very straightforward, and it's really how you'll utilize this degree program and take this back to society and take this back to industry, and how this will serve you, and then how you'll use it to serve society. That's kind of the overarching kind of key elements of a really good statement of purpose. I think sometimes people focus a lot on their background. It's all of the things that we can't qualitatively see, right? So we don't necessarily need to know about all the quantitative stuff. We can see that in your performance on your transcripts. Tell us all of the stuff we can't possibly know about you from your application in that statement of purpose. That also helps, kind of a nice segue into the letters of recommendation. That is always a really great place to shine too. The letters of recommendation don't have to just be from an academic relationship, being a professor. Certainly with this demographic of folks that we're talking to today, have that be from a peer. A peer recommendation is a wonderful way to get to know somebody. It can be from a current supervisor, a previous supervisor. It can be with someone that you've worked on a project with. Maybe you don't currently work with them now, but can kind of speak to your ability to master the material, and then all of the industry experience that you have. That really is a good place to shine through in your letters of recommendation. And then, of course, we do always ask to have a resume included in your application as well. I'll have my contact here. It's also on the next slide. You can email me at any time. I think we are dropping in a link to a form if you'd like to request more information. You can email me directly or fill this form out. Either way works. You'll find me at the end of either path, but I hope to hear from some of you who might have specific questions about the degree programs. We want to provide a high-level overview of some of the courses that you might take, but more than that, we just wanted to highlight what WPI is committed to as a STEM institution, in conjunction with the pillars that are very important to EPCE, and kind of that overlap, and how we're proud to be a member of EPCE. So we have, exposure to folks like you, and I would love to chat more with you. So it was an honor to be here today. If you have any questions, I will stop sharing my screen so I can get back to the Zoom functions here. But if you have any questions, I am happy to chat for a few.
I have one question that came in through the QA, Alexandra. This is from Professor Zamir. He is from the Government Polytechnic Institute for Girls in Sakur, Sindh, Pakistan. And he just wanted to know if WPI has any relationship with Pakistan or other countries, or how it works for international students.
Yeah, of course. We love to work with international students, primarily and we have a very rich and diverse international student population, specifically in our graduate programs, in our graduate school. Primarily in my role, as I oversee all of the corporate industry partnerships, I typically work domestically because of that population, but I have worked with international students, both in this role and in previous roles, and we're happy to connect, certainly at any time with questions that you have. Both I could jump on a call or somebody else from our student engagement recruitment team, but we travel globally on behalf of WPI to talk about our programs, and are very rooted and believe that there's value in creating a super diverse educational experience at WPI, and for those who take the programs as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. I have offered to Professor Zamir, if they have more questions, actually, I shouldn't assume that it's a man. If they have more questions, that I could definitely forward those on to you via email.
Yes, of course. We'd be happy to chat.
We also have a question here from Rachel about universities joining EPCE and what the membership fee is like. So Bridget, I don't know if you want to address what it's like for our colleges and universities that are part of our EPCE catalog.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Rachel. I'll put my email address in the chat and I'd be happy to talk with you about that offline. We do have a process for bringing institutions in, and I'd be happy to talk to you about that.
Alexandra, we did have some questions earlier in the Q&A that I answered. Someone was looking for leadership and cybersecurity, and so I had just kind of recommended some of the other EPCE member colleges and universities. I don't know if there is anything in the degrees you discussed that touches on cyber or leadership. So if you wanted to address that, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Sorry, I was muted. Of course, we do have, so the programs that we are in contract for with EPCE are the ones that we highlighted here today. But of course, we have a full suite of programs, including data science, cyber, and AI. Again, there's such an interdisciplinary approach to the curriculum. So you would certainly be taking courses in most of our engineering master's programs. There are always courses in leadership and business. Those are some of those shared courses that were up on the screen in one of the slides. So you would certainly take business courses in a cybersecurity master's program, definitely. And I'm certainly happy to talk more with you directly if you want to shoot me an email, if you have specific questions. We don't always have to jump on a call. I know that's not everyone's preferred method always. We can trade emails about it. I can share different links to the graduate catalog or some sort of behind the scenes information that isn't always on our website, but happy to chat more about any of our programs at WPI always.
Well, I think it would be okay if we wrapped up early if there's no additional questions from the audience. Thank you so much, Alexandria, for telling us about WPI, and thank you everybody for attending. And please do look for the follow-up email that'll have the webinar recording and the Adult Learner Toolkit. And then you can always find the webinar recording on the EPCE website under events. And don't forget about our other webinars that are coming up soon. If there was a program that you wanted to learn more about from a different institution, we are having a webinar with Bismarck State College and one with Excelsior University in the future. So thanks everybody again. It was great spending time with you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.